ventilation, adding greenery will transform homes into sanctuaries of peace and self-care. Number 9, minimalism. While maximalism and minimalism have been trending for so many years, they really don't suit Indian homes. So comes into the picture minimalism. A balance between simplicity and comfort. Think clutter-free spaces that are functional and cozy without being overly minimal or overwhelming. And lastly, dopamine homes. Designing a home can be very, very overwhelming with peer pressure and societal pressure. But this year, actually design homes with things that spark joy and add meaning to your life. Your home should reflect you, a happy place filled with love and memories. So let your home tell your story in 2025. Let's design aesthetic, functional, sustainable and happy homes in 2025.
Wow. All right. So from designing homes that make you happy, let's take you now to perhaps the single most important thing, health. How you can affect your health in 2025, what it's going to be driven by. We're largely learning and it's going to be driven by wearable tech. Tech that you can wear that can track your data, your statistics, preventative care and a focus on mental well-being. It's all about taking charge of our health through tech and better lifestyle choices.
So to talk to us a little bit about that, we've got Dr. Vanita Arora. She is clinical lead and cardiac electrophysiology. These are new things that are coming up, so we're also learning about it at Apollo Hospital. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Arora. Now, when it comes to health, there's so much to be really spoken about, but one thing that I hear doctors say more and more now in the time and age that we live in, if you're not detecting your diseases early on, it's on you, because the tech is there, the advancements are there, the diagnostics is there. So in 2025, can you give me the top 3 sort of ways in which medicine and diagnosis is going to change?
Well, medicine and diagnosis has already changed because of COVID. Post-COVID, our thought process about any symptom, any disease, especially related to the heart, has changed grossly. When we were dealing with COVID, we were dealing according to what we were learning, that respiratory system gets involved very frequently, and we were looking at CT score, getting those things done. But after COVID, post-COVID, we have seen more and more patients having heart problems, which may be in form of heart attacks, which may be in form of clot formation. But what we have missed is that patients have heartbeat problems also. Many of the patients are coming back to us and saying that they are having palpitations. They cannot walk without getting out of breath because their heart starts to beat very fast. And these kind of arrhythmia problems, when we are having a variation in the heartbeat, it is called arrhythmia. Arrhythmia problems have gone unnoticed during COVID. Probably it was post-COVID that we realized that heart has got affected by something known as myocarditis, and which means the inflammation of the muscle of the heart, which has caused scars in the heart and heartbeat problems. Now, these can be diagnosed very easily in case you are using the techs. The wearable techs are in form of the smart watches. You know, we spend so much on the mobile, but we forget that there is an accessory available along with the mobile, which can where you can download an app, and this watch can help you realize how much heartbeat is there, how much variation of heartbeat is there, how much is your oxygen saturation, how much is your blood pressure. This can guide us through that. The Apple Watch that we wear, has a very good correlation. It has an FDA approval for an arrhythmia known as atrial fibrillation, which is the irregular heartbeat, which is very common nowadays, and it can be picked up very nicely. It gives you a very beautiful, EGM, electrogram trace, and you can send that in a PDF form to your doctor, and they can make an instant diagnosis why your heartbeat is varying, whether it is getting slow, whether it is getting fast, whether it is getting irregular. Along with that, these wearable techs, we have diagnostic devices, as you well said, that the diagnosis is available with us. We have wearable diagnostic devices in form of external loop recorders, ambulatory BP monitoring things, which can, you can go around up to 7 days. Sure. They can give us the monitoring of how heartbeat is behaving, how blood pressure is behaving. And we have small devices which are very handy, which take up to 12 lead ECG. So if you have chest pain, which is the most common symptom of heart attack, you can actually record 12 lead ECG immediately at home
Okay.
and send that to the doctor and have an early diagnosis. So
Just
these
can you
these
tell us though? So this is all the incredible tech, as you're saying, that exists that we can wear to track any kind of issues that are
Absolutely.
coming in. That's incredible.
Yes.
Can you also tell us, as a as you're the expert over here, what is the interesting, exciting for you, if I could even use the word, technology that you're seeing coming in when it comes to the surgeries that doctors like you can conduct? The AI, is the AI helping you in different ways? Are there new personalized treatments? Just give us an overview of that.
Well, AI has beautifully transformed, especially in cardiology, our diagnostic values and how we treat the patient. In case I tell you that I can get an ECG done today and I can predict whether in next 15 days a patient is going to have a heart attack, or 15 days we can predict that whether patient is going to go into a heart failure or have an arrhythmia. There are algorithms available. We've analyzed the raw data of lakhs of patients and found out through this algorithm how we can predict an event which is going to happen 15 days in future. So that if I can predict it today, then I can treat the patients early. I can put them on preventive medications so that this
Dr.
event
Arora,
is
that what the
averted.
Q-risk score is all about?
Well, Curie score is different. It is just to analyze a risk stratification. We know coronary artery disease is fulminant in India because diabetes, we are the diabetic capital of the world. And diabetes is the most important risk factor for coronary artery disease. So Curie score just calculates all the risk factors, modifiable as well as non-modifiable risk factors, and draws them together to say how predictable it is today that you will have a heart disease in future, maybe around in 10 years, how predictable it is. So it just gives us an analytic data. It is helping us to keep a
So
score
just for the
on that.
benefit of our viewers, for those who have a family history, for example, of heart diseases,
Absolutely.
etc., you get a Q-risk score and it tells you over the next 10 years how likely are you to get a heart attack, like 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%. And you can talk to your doctor, make changes to your lifestyle, to your habits and your medicines accordingly, which I think is great. It's path-breaking in a way.
For coronary artery disease, we have modifiable risk factors and non-modifiable risk factors. The non-modifiable risk factors are the one you are saying, that is our genetics. If you have a family history, especially a young person in our first family has a heart disease, Indians and males. These are non-modifiable risk factors. You cannot change that. But then there are modifiable risk factors. Like you can control your diabetes, you can control your hypertension, you can go to no smoking, you can have exercise as a protocol in your day-to-day activities. You can eat healthy food. Garbage that we eat nowadays is really bad. You can go on to healthy food. And then most important is the management of the stress. And how you manage stress is by me time. Take out 40 minutes of me time in 24 hours. Spend it with yourself. You have to live with yourself for throughout your life, So try loving yourself. Spend that 40 minutes just doing what you enjoy. You enjoy just sitting in a room, quiet room, reading a book. Please do that. You enjoy listening to music. Do that. You enjoy doing meditation. Please, 40 minutes, close the room, go off to meditation.
That's something that
I
shouldn't
trust
change
me.
with the calendar. That should stay. That should not be a 2025 trend. That should
Absolutely.
always stay.
Absolutely.
But can I also just ask you one question? 2024 was also a year which saw a lot of young people getting heart attacks. Is there an analysis being done on how this is preventable in the years to come?
Absolutely. It actually, what we called as a heart attack in the young was actually sudden cardiac arrest because most of them died, they didn't arrive. See, 95% patients survive from heart attack. 95% patients don't survive from sudden cardiac arrest, which occurs because of the irregular or heartbeat, which becomes absolutely very fast. My friend calls it bijli ka locha, heart ki bijli ka locha. So it becomes an irregular and faster heartbeat coming from the lower chamber of the heart. Now that it can be diagnosed early. We can predict in patients who can have sudden cardiac arrest. There are ways to predict it by genetic testing and a simple test of an ECG. ECG, 12 lead ECG, which is available
Right.
everywhere, can diagnose that. And at this note, I would want to say that let's make 2025 more of preventive health checkup rather than
Absolutely.
giving gifts to your loved ones. Buy a preventive health checkup and give it to our loved ones. Every corporate hospital has a very good program where preventive health checkup is very good. In Indraprastha Apollo Hospital, we have a pro health checkup program, and it is from head to toe you can get your health checkup done. But with the heart, it is absolutely good to diagnose early. Prevention is
Yes.
better
For
than
overall
cure in
body
heart.
parts, actually, early diagnosis is the key here, and the real takeaway from this point and from everything you've said is the fact that make 2025 a year of you understanding your body better. Prevent the fire. Don't react once the fire is already there. If that is a note that one can take on. Thank you so much, Dr. Arora, for joining us with all those things that are trending in 2025 or cues that we can take when it comes to health. But so much of interlock and an intersection between technology and almost everything we've discussed so far. But let's look at technology per se. 2025, AI, there are going to be so many breakthroughs, automation, ethical innovation, all of that is said to be at the focus. But what can you expect in terms of adoption of AI in our day-to-day life? Not 5 years later, but in 2025. How will it change how we work, connect and live?
Right. So to tell us a little bit more, we have Ankush Sabharwal. He's the tech entrepreneur and the founder of Bharat GPT AI and CoreOver AI. He's joined us so many times in the past to bring us his perspective. Ankush, thank you for joining us this morning. Ankush, I think the last year is when, at least for me, ChatGPT entered the world in a very real sense, even though it's been around for so long. ChatGPT, the other apps that are like it, Claude, for example, the ease with which we could use it. Can you just tell us, Ankush, if you had to predict 2025, the next change we're going to see in our day-to-day, in how we use AI and tech, what do you think that one big change is going to be?
Yeah, good morning, Toya and Sonan. See, I this time would not predict too many things would happen or big innovations would happen. I hope and I think it would be more of normalization of the hype and the reality. I think many use cases have already been tried. I want to see, which I'm hopeful of, we will have less use cases, but they would be better, more accuracy in AI adoption, and they would be adopted at scale. I think now the funnel is there. I think we should have the cream of those use cases coming up and very prominent in this year. So the less use cases, better use cases, and should be adopted at scale.
I like that. Less hype, more work. Totally the
Yeah.
mantra for 2025 when it comes to AI. But tell us a little bit about tech AI adoption and give us an India lens to it. Where are you seeing AI adoption happen most extensively? Your top three.
Yeah. See, I think I have no doubt India would be leader in AI adoption. I think many reasons. I think one is the population, and the second is we are very adaptable. We as a country and citizens, if we are given the right tool, we tend to use it. So we don't ask too many questions, and we don't like too much of comfort zone. So given the right tool, we are ready to use it. So we have many examples in the past, maybe Orkut, if you know, and WhatsApp, and many other tools which have adopted at scale in India. So I think a lot of adoption of AI, applied AI, would happen in India. So I think few use cases, if you're asking, I think the AI agents, I think much talked about, but we would see the practical use in India. I think low-hanging fruit of AI is AI agent. I think we would see more of AI agents coming in various aspects of our lives, whether it's business or consumers. And those agents would not just be reactive. I think most of the AI tools which most of us use are reactive, right? We need to know what we have to ask. So I think it would be more of interconnected system and better personalization. And I should be, as a user, I should be told what I'm looking for, or action should be done without me asking for it. It would be more of, I think, implicit things and more of proactive instead of reactive, which I think 99% of our current AI tools are.
Ankush, one of the coolest things to read about in the last year has been the number of innovative Indian startups that are using tech in different ways. Some, for example, are using tech in agriculture. You know, they're creating platforms where you can go buy things, go buy cows, animals. I just want to understand from you, what are the startups that are exciting for you? The ones we as audiences should look out for that are doing innovative things with integrating tech and other areas.
I think we a very right example. I know many startups. I think there is one called Cropin, which they are trying to accelerate how the farming is done using AI. And there is another startup, um, Karya. Sorry, I'm not. These are just names
Of
coming in my
course.
mind. There might be other better startups, and what they're doing, they are democratizing the data. As we know, the key ingredient for any AI system is data. Those they are democratizing the data, so they are crowdsourcing the data, and people who are giving the data, they are also getting monetized. So they work for companies who need data, and if you get the right data, the right tools would be created. And so I think it would not be fair if we don't mention Core Over and Bharat GPT. Yeah, so we are trying to democratize technology. We are trying to democratize AI. We want the computers, whether it's hardware or software, to talk. So whatever sector it is, I think it's a noble cause, right? We wanted to see. I'm in a business, right? But I always wanted to do a business which helps society. So I think we found the purpose where we are helping society with AI and tech. So
Nice.
so now it's not just my purpose or our purpose; it's society's purpose to adopt AI for the betterment of society.
Talking about purpose, Ankush, let's ask you the million-dollar question. Everybody is worried that AI is taking away jobs in 2025. What is your prediction? What jobs will be eliminated by AI and what new jobs do you think will be created? Few examples would be nice.
Yeah, I think there is no end to the kind of jobs which would be created, and even we cannot predict because so many use cases are coming up. Even creators do not know what is the use of the AI system, which even the creators have created. So I think a lot of new jobs would be created, and which jobs would not be there? Maybe the prompt engineering. I'm not sure if it was much talked about, but I'm not sure whether it was really a reality like prompt engineers were hired. I'm not sure whether there's a need of prompt engineers. Yes, there is a need of prompt engineering as a skill in everyone. Whether it's a doctor should know how to write prompts for their own profession, or maybe engineers have to do the right prompting for their profession. But engineering as job, I don't think that would exist. But on the traditional job front, I think white collar jobs, which probably are more redundant and which do not either add content from their experience or emotion, I think that probably has a risk to get eliminated in next probably 1 to 2 years. So if I re-articulate, white collar jobs which do not add up to their experience or do not probably share the experience with others, and and or there is no emotional part to it. I think I think that probably would not stay.
Okay, that's a smart one. For our viewers, prompt engineering, AI agents, Google those words. If you want to know more about it, write to us in feedback. We'll do a full show talking about that. Thank you, Ankush, as well, for that update on AI and tech.
Okay, so let's take you now from tech to something again tech related. When we talk mobile phones in 2025, think 5G, think foldable designs, and most definitely an unparalleled camera technology. The future of connectivity and creativity is here in 2025. We've talked a little bit about phones earlier that were getting rid of their screens altogether, that just had the old school look. Now let's show you what's coming in. Take a look with us to tell us a little bit more on this. We have Rubina Mongia. She's a tech expert and a tech creator.
Now, the smartphone market never slows down, and as we enter the new year, get ready to see some amazing new technology, AI and features in the upcoming smartphones. So here are a few flagship smartphones we can't wait to see this year. First, of course, is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. The S24 Ultra was widely regarded as one of the best smartphones of 2024, and its successor promises to take things even further. Now, the Galaxy S25 Ultra will feature the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite processor for really fast performance, 12 GB of RAM, better, more vibrant display, upgraded cameras, new AI-powered features with Galaxy AI to enhance productivity, and of course, the iconic S Pen. Second is for the OnePlus fans. OnePlus 13 is coming very soon, and it's got a lot of new features, including a massive 6000 mAh battery with 100-watt fast charging. It will also feature Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset for smooth multitasking, upgraded camera technology for stunning photos and videos, and it will be more durable with IP69 rating for durability against water and dust. Then we have the Nothing Phone 3 coming. Now, Nothing continues to make waves with its unique designs and cutting-edge features. The Nothing Phone 3 is rumored to include a top-tier camera system with advanced AI features, a transparent back panel and glyph lighting, that stands out in any crowd, and a user-friendly interface with intuitive, innovative features. It's going to be powered by Apple Intelligence now that it's here. Their parts borrowed from the iPhone 14 and iPhone 15, ensuring premium quality. For gaming lovers, Asus ROG Phone 9 is also on the cards. It is designed to meet your gaming needs with Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset for top-tier gaming performance, a 165Hz refresh rate, display for smooth visuals, a robust 5800 mAh battery with enhanced cooling for longer gaming sessions. Now, later this year, we will of course see the iPhone 17, iPhone's flagship for 2025. Now, it is poised to revolutionize the smartphone experience. Rumored features include a titanium body and a seamless edge-to-edge display. It will of course be more faster, more efficient, A19 Bionic chip, a groundbreaking camera system with periscope zoom and advanced AI photography features. It might also feature a portrait design, possibly marking the beginning of a wireless-only era. And we will also see flagship from Oppo, the Oppo Reno 13 series. It's going to continue its presence in the smartphone market with the Reno 13, 5G and Reno 13 Pro models. And the expected features include, of course, enhanced camera systems for superior photography, smooth performance with promising hardware updates. Well, these are the few phones that are set to come this year, but there are a lot more in pipeline, including fold phones, flip phones from brands like Samsung, Motorola, OnePlus, and I really hope some brand makes a trifold phone like the one that Huawei has launched in China. Which upcoming phone are you most excited about? Let us know.
All right, so those are phones to look forward to in 2025. But what about cars? We haven't touched upon that. The auto industry is also charging ahead with electric vehicles leading the revolution. Maruti's e-Vitara to Mercedes' electric G-Wagon. 2025 is all about innovation, sustainability on the road, and also getting the miles with that one charge. That's what people are looking forward to. So EV is not a discussion anymore. EV is now.
And to tell us a little bit more about India's revolution, the revolution we're seeing on the roads, Kranti Sambhav, editor of Overdrive. Kranti, we play out for our audiences Overdrive verdicts every single day. It's great to have you here on the show. What are the big launches that we can look forward to in the next year?
Good morning, Toya and Sonal. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year to everyone.
To you.
2025 is going to be the year of, I'm not sure what, whether it's SUV, EVs, motorcycles, because we are going to see many launches, different kind of launches, different segments, and biggest news still is the return of Auto Expo to Pragati Maidan. And there we can see a couple of products which you already mentioned. Biggest news there would be number one car maker launching their first fully electric vehicle, that e-Vitara. And I'm really hopeful, not only with the product, but also when we see number one car maker getting into a segment, it will also give that push to EV charging infrastructure, which we all, keep talking about. Second news is obviously Hyundai's Creta EV, which we saw they released some of the technical specifications and the look and everything yesterday. So that is one more product which many people, because Creta is anyway a segment creator, and it's one of the best sellers in that segment, that price band. It still sells so much. Then we have MG's Cyberstar, which is going to be one small, it's a sports car, but in the luxury space. So MG is getting in that space. Again, electric, very fast, and that's going to be their flagship model. And you mentioned G-Wagon, lots of you search on the internet, on YouTube, you'll get so many videos of G-Wagon, electric G-Wagon doing circles. So we saw that glimpse of that car last year before Bharat Mobility Expo. Now we'll see the launch very soon. Other than this, we have seen a couple of unveilings. For example, Skoda Kailak will go on sale. Then we have Mahindra's, Born Electric 2 models, BE6, which was earlier 6E. Now they've, after whatever the conversation and court cases and everything and notices, they changed the name, BE6 and XEV9E. So these two electric vehicles, which we have seen, much talked about, and their deliveries might start around between Feb and March. So these are the products which we are looking forward to.
So what I'm hearing from you, Kranti, is that if 2024 was about adopting EV, 2025 is going to be about a flourishing EV market, that even Maruti and the rest of them are now forced to do it. And you might see a lot of households have one EV car now, if one can look at it like that. But when it comes to EV, we've seen adoption even in two-wheelers. Are you seeing a similar trend come in?
EV two-wheelers, they are doing, if we talk about just the number of models or number of variants, they are already pretty, that market is pretty rich anyway. So we have seen various makers like Ola, Ather and Ultraviolet. They have launched lots of products. This year, again, there will be lots of variants, new products, but the main focus would be on four-wheelers in that sense, because in four-wheeler space, the speed of adoption is not as fast as the two-wheeler segment. So I guess what you're saying is correct. That will, but the rate of the increment would be not as high as we have already. We have seen that change. So EV two-wheelers, because even if we look at the numbers, biggest chunk is from EV two-wheelers. So when we say that EV market is flourishing, EV market is growing, while we discuss all the cars and range.
Adoption is two-wheelers actually. That's where the numbers are.
Two-wheeler customers are more value-centric, and they have started buying those two-wheelers much before car customers.
Kranti, tell us, when it comes to, internationally, we've seen Tesla launch some pretty, funky models out there, There was the Cybertruck, for example, but the actual on-ground number of units it was selling was still much, much less, the Cybertruck, even though it had that out-there design. In India, what are the cutting-edge trends we're seeing in EV design? What are consumers going for, and what have manufacturers now found they want to stay away from?
So what has happened with electric vehicles is that now, because when we use the term born electric, so what happens that the platform, the tech, the body, the features, everything is developed from the scratch. And then what happens that car makers have more freedom to express more, better feature availability, and they use everything, because in the existing any existing model, changing or putting new screens, new tech, new feature is difficult. With electric vehicles, this is what has happened. We have seen, whether it's ADAS or the kind of voice control features which you've seen in cars, you will see electric cars more flexible in that sense. So most of for example, these two cars, Mahindra BE6 and XEV9E, a bit technical. So these two cars, we have seen lots of new features in those cars, which we generally don't see in regular ICE vehicles. So whether it's, rest of the features are anyway available with other cars also, but not with the kind of speed which we've seen in EVs. So now, if you look at Indian customers, what has happened, that they have started looking at EVs as value for money, silent, automatic, because and plus instantaneous torque. And then with all of this, you have some gimmicky, some useful, some functional features. So most of the electric cars are pretty up to date in that sense.
Ah, right. So, software is the name of the game, and EV, this is year 2025, is the time when we are seeing an all-round adoption. So let's see how it's actually taken in by the consumers. Thank you so much, Kranti, for giving us a glimpse and looking into the ball over there and telling us what 2025 has in store.
So we hope this entire episode, our first half discussing different trends, right from health to wellness, has been revolutionary for you. We hope it's left a few new seeds in your head, got you started thinking on different trends and the different ways in which you can change your life. Now we're going to head into a quick break. On the other side, we continue to bring you new and interesting stories. On the other side, we're telling you what the entertainment world had over this last week. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right, moving on to more news from United States. 15 people were killed and at least 35 injured after a man drove into large crowd in New Orleans, Louisiana in the early hours of New Year's Day. At about 3:15 local time on New Year's Day, a Ford pickup truck rammed into crowd gathered on Bourbon Street in the heart of New Orleans, and French Quarters is where the incident has happened. And the CCTV footage shows a white Ford F-150 Lightning vehicle driving onto the pavement to get around a police car before hitting the pedestrians. Now, police described the act as very intentional, adding that the attacker, identified as Samshuddin Jabbar, was hell-bent on creating the carnage and the damage that he did. I'm now joined by my colleague Akansha Swaroop on this broadcast. Akansha, give us more detail about this accused. What was his plan really when he rammed into this particular area?
A very good morning, Sharon. It's deeply tragic that the new year for Americans has begun on such a tragic, horrifying note. This entire incident is being treated as a terrorist act. Also, not to forget the fact that we're looking at this entire incident, that 15 people have been declared dead. Now, the FBI, which is also is already investigating this entire matter, will be able to establish the motive better. But it's important to highlight that this person entered the U.S. border just 2 days ago, and which is why the U.S. President-elect has also, in fact, denounced this entire incident as an act of terrorism. He's also gone on to condemn and blame it on illegal immigration, remember, which was a very crucial issue during his own election campaigning. And he's gone on to react by saying that when I say that criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true. The crime rate in our country is at a record level, but nobody has ever seen. Our hearts with all the innocent victims. And that's what he's now questioning, that how is such illegal immigration taking place, because this man entered the U.S. border 2 days prior to the attack through Texas. At the same time, the outgoing President, Joe Biden, has been also blasted for his tone-deaf reaction because soon after the terror incident, the first tweet coming in from the U.S. President was Happy New Year, folks. And soon after, he was trolled, which is when he started reacting to the incident, and he's also gone on to talk about how he's already been briefed regarding the horrific incident that occurred in New Orleans. The FBI is taking the lead in the investigation and is investigating this entire act of terrorism. So, as far as these are the reactions, but the fact of the matter remains, Sharon, we've seen a similar incident happen where again it was an immigrant who had done it from Saudi Arabia in that Christmas market in Germany. So, yes, we'll have to see how Donald Trump now, the incoming new administration in the White House, responds to immigration.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Club. We've got a jam-packed entertainment roundup for you this morning. Right from Hollywood's most dramatic divorce finally reaching a settlement, a heated North-South debate continuing in Bollywood, and some surprising legal troubles for everyone's favourite Punjabi singer.
Should we just name him? It's Diljit Dosanjh. We're just assuming that people know the most popular Punjabi singer. Well, at least he is. And that's not all. Don't forget the high-profile arrest in Tollywood and several strong reactions that followed. We've got all the details that you need in the entertainment roundup. Take a look.
A very happy new year to everyone. Now let's take a quick look at the week that was. On December 30, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie settled for their divorce after a legal battle lasting for more than 8 years. For the unversed, she filed for divorce in 2016 following a dramatic altercation on their private jet when she had accused Brad of physically assaulting her and verbally abusing their children while they were aboard the private jet. They were together for about a decade and became parents of 6 before they married in 2014. In the last few years, the former power couple was also embroiled in a legal dispute over their French vineyard. There's a new development in the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively legal battle that began after she filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against Justin and members of his production team during the shoot of It Ends With Us. And now Justin has sued the New York Times for libel, seeking at least $250 million over its story on allegations that he sexually harassed and intended to smear Blake's reputation. The lawsuit alleges that New York Times and Blake coordinated a smear campaign against him and his 9 fellow plaintiffs. A clip from a recent entertainment roundtable went viral, further providing an impetus to the North-South debate. In what appeared to be a war of words with Boney Kapoor, Lucky Bhaskar producer Nagavamsi called out Bollywood for making films only for the Bandra to Juhu crowd and claimed that Telugu directors brought about change to Bollywood. He also shared that the whole of Mumbai didn't sleep after Pushpa 2 made over 80 crore in a single day. It led to sharp reactions from filmmakers like Hansal Mehta, Sanjay Gupta and Siddharth Anand, who too took to X and called Naga out for his arrogance. Following the criticism, he clarified that he didn't disrespect Kapoor and stated that South cinema in fact respects Kapoor more than Bollywood does. Diljit Dosanjh has landed in a legal trouble after wrapping up his Dilluminati India tour in Ludhiana, Punjab. A complaint has been filed against the Punjabi singer-actor for allegedly singing songs on stage that promote alcoholism. The complainant claimed that despite prior warnings, Diljit performed pro-alcohol songs at the show with slight alterations to the lyrics. A while back, he had received a notice from the Telangana government which asked him to not sing songs that promote alcohol, drugs or violence during his Hyderabad show. Andhra Pradesh Deputy CM Pawan Kalyan has reacted to Allu Arjun's brief arrest following the stampede case that resulted in the death of a woman in Hyderabad. He said that the law doesn't give any preferential treatment to anyone. A close relative of Arjun, the Deputy CM, declared in the assembly that a mistake committed by him should also be punished and further observed that the makers of Pushpa 2, The Rule, should have called on the family of the deceased immediately without delay to avert a mountain being made out of a molehill. Well, that's all for this week. See you next week.
All right, that was the entertainment wrap. We have some more talking to do and debating about whose side are we on, what's happening with the Baldoni case. You take a break, we'll be seeing you on the other side. All right, moving on to more news from United States. 15 people were killed and at least 35 injured after a man drove into large crowd in New Orleans, Louisiana in the early hours of New Year's Day. At about 3:15 local time on New Year's Day, a Ford pickup truck rammed into crowd gathered on Bourbon Street in the heart of New Orleans, and French Quarters is where the incident has happened. And the CCTV footage shows a white Ford F-150 lightning vehicle driving onto the pavement to get around a police car before hitting the pedestrians. Now, police described the act as very intentional, adding that the attacker, identified as Samshuddin Jabbar, was hell-bent on creating the carnage and the damage that he did. I'm now joined by my colleague Akansha Surup on this broadcast. Akansha, give us more detail about this accused. What was his plan really when he rammed into this particular area?
A very good morning, Sharon. It's deeply tragic that the new year for Americans has begun on such a tragic, horrifying note. This entire incident is being treated as a terrorist act. Also, not to forget the fact that we're looking at this entire incident where 15 people have been declared dead. Now, the FBI, which is also is already investigating this entire matter, will be able to establish the motive better. But it's important to highlight that this person entered the U.S. border just 2 days ago, and which is why the U.S. President-elect has also, in fact, denounced this entire incident as an act of terrorism. He's also gone on to condemn and blame it on illegal immigration, remember, which was a very crucial issue during his own election campaigning. And he's gone on to react by saying that when I say that criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true. The crime rate in our country is at a record level, but nobody has ever seen. Our hearts with all the innocent victims. And that's what he's now questioning, that how is such illegal immigration taking place, because this man entered the U.S. border 2 days prior to the attack through Texas. At the same time, the outgoing President Joe Biden has been also blasted.
All right, next, let's take you to something entirely different, our section, Money Control.
All right, it's time to bring you a special segment on the financial markets powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insight. Let's start with markets and how they're doing the first Friday of 2025. GIFT Nifty indicates and a weak opening for Indian equity indices. US stock ended down after a choppy session as investors stayed cautious in the new year. Asian shares were up in morning trade with gains in Australia, South Korea and China markets. Crude oil prices meanwhile rallied while gold traded firm as investors await more economic data.
And let's take a look now at consumer sentiment that has been particularly subdued, especially in urban areas. Now, this has impacted the performance of consumer wear companies in the first half. Positive signs were visible in the start of the festive season. Will the second half deliver a positive surprise? That, of course, remains the big question. You can log into Money Control Pro to find out more about the Indian consumer wear firm sector and various other actionable insights on the markets. It's the premier destination for all the investing views and financial insights that you're ever going to need, brought to you by Money Control.
All right, with that, we are bringing our T20 cut, all things that you need to know about tea, about 2025. I'm really getting a tea moment right now. I need some tea. Let's take a break. We'll see you Monday. Tata, bye-bye.
Goodbye. See you.
Co-powered by.
All right, moving on to more news from United States. 15 people were killed and at least 35 injured after a man drove into large crowd in New Orleans, Louisiana in the early hours of New Year's Day. At about 3:15 local time on New Year's Day, a Ford pickup truck rammed into crowd gathered on Bourbon Street.
Last night, January 1st at approximately 11:18 p.m., the NYPD received multiple 911 calls for several people shot in front of an event space located here at 91-12 144th Place. Our initial investigation revealed that approximately 90 people were inside the location in an upstairs private event space. The venue was at capacity and a queue of about 15 people formed outside awaiting as other attendees exited. 4 males were walking eastbound on 91st Avenue onto 144th Place towards the venue. 3 to 4 males then opened fire over 30 times in the direction of the group standing outside the event space, striking multiple victims. The males fled on foot westbound on 91st Street towards 143rd Place, where they entered a light-colored sedan with out-of-state plates. Officers responding to the multiple 911 calls found a total of 10 victims, 6 females, 4 males, which were taken to area hospitals. All of the victims are expected to recover with non-life-threatening injuries.
A Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside the Trump International Hotel, Las Vegas, Wednesday morning. Las Vegas police released this video of the blast, which killed the driver and injured several others. They also released footage that showed the vehicle's interior afterward, which they said showed gas and camp fuel canisters, as well as large firework mortars. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said the blast was unrelated to the Cybertruck itself, saying in a post on X, quote, "All vehicle telemetry was positive at the time of the explosion." FBI Special Agent Jeremy Schwartz told reporters on Wednesday that it was not yet clear whether the blast was an act of terrorism.
I know everybody's interested in that word and trying to see if we can say, hey, this is a terrorist attack. That is our goal, and that's what we're trying to do.
He added the vehicle had been rented in Colorado and that the FBI had identified the driver, but was not yet ready to publicly name them. The Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas is part of the Trump Organization, the company of President-elect Donald Trump, who will return to the White House later this month. Musk was a key backer of Trump in his 2024 presidential campaign and is also an advisor to the incoming president. The explosion occurred just hours after a man drove a truck into crowds of New Year's Day revelers in New Orleans, killing 15. The FBI said an ISIS flag was attached to a staff protruding from the trailer hitch, and that a potential explosive device was found in the rented vehicle. Las Vegas police said both that vehicle and the Cybertruck had been rented through car-sharing service Turo. President Joe Biden on Monday said law enforcement was still investigating whether the Las Vegas explosion and the New Orleans attack were linked.
More than a dozen people were killed by a man crashing his pickup truck into a crowd in New Orleans on New Year's Day. Several more people were injured by the attack on revelers in the city's French Quarter. Reuters obtained the following of first responders in the aftermath. Some viewers may find graphic. It happened around 3:15 a.m. at the intersection of Canal and Bourbon Streets, a historic tourist destination. An eyewitness said she heard the rev of an engine, a loud impact, then screams.
And debris, just metal, the sound of crunching metal and bodies.
Police say the driver was 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, an army veteran from Texas. Officers said they found an ISIS flag in the vehicle. Jabbar was said to be in full military gear, subsequently got in a shootout with police and was killed. The incident has prompted an investigation into possible links to terrorist organizations. Investigators say they found weapons and potential explosives in the suspect.
Hello and welcome. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Kaveri Gupta. Let's start the bulletin with the top focus of the day. In a big honor for Veer Savarkar, Delhi University is set to name its Najafgarh College after Veer Savarkar. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be laying the foundation stone for 2 new campuses of the Delhi University in East and West Delhi today that will house colleges named after Hindutva ideologue V.D. Savarkar and late BJP leader Sushma Swaraj. The proposal to name these colleges after the 2 leaders was cleared at a meeting of the Executive Council in 2021. But the Congress is seeing red over Veer Savarkar's name, and now Congress has gone on to say that the university should have honoured freedom fighters instead. In response, the BJP and Savarkar's grandson have slammed the Congress. And interestingly, viewers, Congress ally Uddhav Sena has demanded Bharat Ratna for Savarkar. Meanwhile, NSUI president, which is the student wing of Congress, has written to the Prime Minister Modi demanding college to be named after Dr. Manmohan Singh instead of Veer Savarkar.
इस कैंपस का नाम, इस कॉलेज का नाम सावरकर जी की जगह डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी के नाम पे रखना चाहिए। देखिए, अभी कुछ ही दिनों पहले मनमोहन सिंह जी का देहांत हुआ है, पूरा देश भावुक है और वो पूरे देश के प्रधानमंत्री थे। और किस तरीके से डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी की जो जर्नी रही है, वो एकेडमिकल जर्नी कितनी फैंटास्टिक रही है, उसके लिए भी एक बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन रहेगा।
दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के लिए बहुत ही खुशी और गर्व की बात है कि कल भारत के आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी 3 प्रोजेक्ट्स की आधारशिला रखेंगे। एक तो ईस्ट दिल्ली कैंपस जो आएगा, हमारा ईस्ट दिल्ली के अंदर आ रहा है, दूसरा वेस्ट दिल्ली कैंपस और तीसरा सावरकर कॉलेज जो कि रोशनपुरा नजफगढ़ के अंदर एस्टैब्लिश हो रहा है। तो ये बहुत ही अच्छी बात है कि 3 नए प्रोजेक्ट्स आएंगे। भारत सरकार की ये एक योजना है कि शिक्षा में का विस्तार हो, अच्छी शिक्षा, सस्ती शिक्षा सबको उपलब्ध हो। ये इस दिशा में जो सरकार की योजना है, दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय उसमें अग्रसर भूमिका निभाने का प्रयास कर रहा है। हम इस एडिशनल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के माध्यम से नई अपॉर्चुनिटीज और नई सीट्स क्रिएट करेंगे और ये 1.5-2 साल के अंदर प्रोजेक्ट तैयार हो जाएंगे। मैं भारत सरकार का आभार व्यक्त करना चाहूंगा।
अच्छी बात है, मनमोहन सिंह जी के नाम पे भी होगा कॉलेज का नाम। कांग्रेस तो कभी रखेगी नहीं, उनको तो एक खानदान नेहरू के अलावा